I don't think we do. Because if you love him, he said, keep his commandments. Here's one of the commandments he gave the Israelites. Read.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 11 and verse 1.
Come on.
And the Lord spake. Verse 7.
Come on.
And the swine.
What is the swine, my brother? The pig that we love to eat? That bacon on Saturday morning. That's the thing the Lord's talking about. Keep reading.
Though he divide the hoof.
Come on.
And be cloven footed.
Come on.
Yet he cheweth not the cud.
What did the Bible say pig is? Read.
He is unclean.
What is what?
He is unclean.
God says it's unclean. But why is we eating it at an alarming rate? Because we hate God's commandments.
Right.
God says if you love me, keep my commandments.
Right.
We too worried about a damn crate challenge. What church is teaching these commandments?
Bring it out.
That's why we act the way we act.
Right.
That's the why we look the way we look.
Right.
Because ain't nobody teaching God's commandments.
Right.
But the Lord said, I'm going to send prophets in the last days.
That's right.
Set these people in order.
Right.
Because we are crazy as hell.
Right.
Give me that Deuteronomy 28:28. We're going to segue into the curses now.
Bring it out.
So ask yourself, why is this happening to us? Why is we the one work so hard yet have so little?
Right.
Don't someone want to know these things?
Bring it out.
Am I the only brother out here want to know why is we going through these things? But guess what? The Lord left the answers for us in the Bible. Read what you got.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 28.
Come on.
The Lord shall smite thee with madness.
You heard what God says? He says, you black men and black women, I'm going to smite you with madness. Meaning what? Our people crazy as hell. We are crazy. You know why we so crazy? We will try to hurt ourselves to climb up about 12 crates.
Right.
Just for a few views.
Right.
The hospital bill is too high for us to be trying to climb some crates.
Right.
But we out here playing with our lives, jeopardizing our lives.
Right.
God says the black men and black women today, we're smitten with madness.
Right.
Because why? We are breaking God's commandments.
That's right.
Keep reading.
You should be smitten with madness.
Come on.
And blindness.
You know what blinded is? You see us right here standing right now, and you ask yourself, what are these dudes doing up here? Guess what? We heard the word of God, and we repented from our sins. The blindness that the truth is before you, but no one has the eyes to see. No one can see that this is the truth.
Right.
We got to keep God's commandments.
Right.
You know what? I got to stop smoking weed.
Right.
I got to stop fornicating with this sister.
Right.
We blind to the facts that we are God's people.
Okay.
I spoke to you yesterday. Well, that was your brother.
My brother.
You got a twin brother.
Yeah.
He got into an incident with his girlfriend, right?
Right.
I thought so. So
Yeah.
you know what the issue is, though, bro?
Right.
We don't know who we are.
Right.
I'm going to show you that in the Bible. I want you to listen real good. Look over here. You see yourself right here? Who is you according to America? They call you a black man, right?
Right.
African American,
Right.
huh? So on this sign, who do you see yourself as? Right here, right?
Yeah.
What that say?
Do it.
It say Judah, right?
Yeah.
So ask yourself, if you're from the tribe of Judah, why is they calling you African American? Let alone, that ain't even a nationality.
That's true.
But watch what God says, Isaiah 1 and 3. Isaiah chapter 1. What we out here to do, bruh, is wake you up, bruh.
Right.
You've been asleep for too long. How old are you?
42.
You 42 years old.
Yeah.
But guess what? The Lord is now allowing you to hear the truth in the Bible.
Right.
So what you hear, I pray that you learn and continue to learn. Watch this. Pay attention. Read.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 1 and verse 3.
Come on.
The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master crib.
The ox and the ass is two dumb animals, but they know who their master is. This is God comparing us to two dumb animals. Keep reading.
But Israel.
But who?
Israel.
Who is the Israelites? The blacks and Hispanics.
Right.
Those are the Israelites. Keep
Right.
listening. Keep listening. Read on.
Do not know. My people do not consider.
Our people don't know that we are the Israelites.
Right.
Did you know that's in the Bible?
Right. I did not know that.
Now you know that.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
why you don't know.
Yeah.
Because why? We haven't considered.
Right.
But I'm hoping you're standing before me to consider who you really are.
Right.
So from there, give me Deuteronomy chapter 1. You ever heard of the prophet Moses? Get Exodus 4. I want to read that. Did you know the prophet Moses looked just like you? Watch this, Exodus chapter 4.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 4, and verse 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, put thine hand in thy bosom.
So this was a miracle the Lord told Moses. He said, put your hand in your bosom. basically in your shirt, something like that. Read.
And he put his hand into his bosom.
So he put his hand into his bosom, right? Read.
And behold, when he took it out, his hand was leprous as snow.
When he took his hand out of his shirt, it became white as snow. Keep that in mind. Keep reading.
And as he put thine hand into his bosom again, and he put his hand into his bosom.
So when he put his hand back in, after it was white, what happened? Read on.
And plucked it out of his bosom. And behold, it was turned again as his other flesh.
What was his other flesh? If his hand came out white and you put it back in, what color was it the first place?
Black.
Black.
That's right.
You are 100% correct.
Right.
Proving what? Moses was a black man.
Right.
This black man led the children of Israel out of Egypt into the wilderness.
Right.
That's what the Lord is saying right here. So let's get Deuteronomy 1:1. So now you got a vision of who's reading this to you.
Right.
A black man is sending these words to your spirit.
Right.
Listen.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
So these are the words which Moses spake to all the children of Israel. As you see here, you at the top tribe. So he's speaking to all the 12 in the wilderness. Keep reading.
On this side Jordan in the wilderness.
Proving what? We was in the wilderness. Deuteronomy 11:26. So listen now. You see Moses, right? A black man.
Right.
He's speaking to his people, which is us.
Right.
This is what he told us in the wilderness. Read.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11 and verse 26. Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse.
So he told you, hey, I'm setting before you this day a blessing and a curse. Keep reading.
A blessing if ye obey the commandments of the Lord.
A blessing if you do what I say, according to God. Keep reading.
Your God, which I command you to this day.
Come on.
And a curse.
And a what?
A curse.
What is a curse? Bad things, evil things, atrocities. That's what he said. Read on.
If ye will not obey the commandments.
My question now, are we obeying God's commandments? No, we're not.
We're not.
You don't want to know the commandments he told us to keep?
The 10 Commandments.
Exactly. More than that. You know what's in the 10 though that we don't keep?
What that?
Thou shalt not kill. How many murders, homicides is in Pine Bluff? Many.
Right.
Because why? We are under the curses.
Right.
We chose to break God's commandments.
Right.
So no, we are not blessed as of yet. But watch, let's keep reading.
Verse 28. And a curse if ye will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God.
So he told them a curse if you don't obey the commandments of your Lord. So let's read some. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 16. Here's a curse he gave us. What I'm trying to do right now, I'm trying to prove to you that this Bible don't belong to all nations. It belongs to the children of Israel. Which are what? Read verse 16.
Verse 16. Curse shall thy be in the city.
Curse shall you be where?
In the city.
Keep reading.
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
Read it one more time.
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
In the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, where do you see the majority of your people? Where do you see them? Is we in the 40th Street? Well, you think we in 45th Street in the big houses? Where do you see the majority of your people?
Oh, okay.
In the ghetto.
Yeah.
In the ghetto.
Correct.
That's what's going on. What's going on, my brother?
What's up, brother?
I'm doing all right. What I'm speaking to this brother regarding is who we are according to the Bible. Now I told him that the Bible said Moses gave the commandments to the children of Israel. So this is what we're going into. He says I will bless you if you keep the commandments. I will curse you if you don't. You listening, bro? I want you to keep a keen eye, all right? He said a curse if you don't do the commandments. So we're reading the first curse to prove that we are indeed these people. Watch this, read it again.
Cursed shall thou be in the city.
So I asked the brother, what black man that you know, the majority of us living in the big houses up here in the street, up here in 40th Street. How many of us living up there? Not too many. But where the majority of us at? We in the ghettos. We in the Section 8 homes. Is this not us, my brother? Is this not us, my brother?
Yes, sir.
Keep reading.
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
Ooh. Now, this field is twofold. But I want to deal with the slavery side of it. When we was in the field, where was we? How was we doing? Y'all see these photos? Come look. Come look. I want you to look right here. What is this going on? Y'all see this? Y'all see this?
The Arab slave master.
You said an Arab slave master. Exactly. So you see the Arab, the whites, and the Africans. We're not Africans, brothers. We were sold to them. And so when we was cursed in the field, what you think they made us do? Get Exodus 1, verse 13. I'm going to show you in the Bible. If you ever heard about let my people go, like I said about Moses, where was we in this world? Do you remember the landmass? Where was we? We was in Africa, right? Where in Africa?
I would say north and east Africa.
I like that. That's what Israel is. But where was we? We was in Egypt. We was under Pharaoh. What you think they made us do? I'm going to show you in the Bible. Remember what it said. Cursed shall you be in the field. I'm going all the way to the time of Egypt. But even during the 1600s, we was doing the same thing. But watch this, read.
The book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 13. The Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
Who are the children of Israel? The blacks and Hispanics. So the Pharaoh, the Egyptians, made us serve with rigor. You know what rigor means? Painstaking.
Right.
Hard labor, exactly. Can you read it?
Verse 14. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage.
Bitter with hard bondage, meaning they made us work in the fields. They made us slave, putting brick by brick, mortar by mortar, day and night. So when the Lord says, Deuteronomy 28:16, go back to it real quick.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 16. Cursed shall thou be in the city.
Why? Because we ain't living the best way we should. As us to create the stoplight, us to create vehicles, we don't reap none of the benefits. That's a curse. God says you'll be cursed in the city, and where else?
And cursed shall thou be in the field.
Like during the time of Pharaoh, we have to serve with hard rigor. We got to do that now. Our ancestors had to do it during the 1600s, picking cotton day and night. Yet we don't own the cotton factory, not one. We don't own the textile industry, not one. Why? Because you're cursed in the field, even in your job field. Why you think they got employment professionals set up in every ghetto? Because the majority of our people is out of work. But why? When I did the research, you know what I came to pass with? Express Employment Professionals is $1 billion company. That's mind staking. You know why? Because the majority of us work for them. So then you know they paying you bits and crumbs to keep there in a billionaire business. But where's we? Where's our money? Why? Because you're cursed in your fields of work. You was cursed in the fields in slavery. Jump to verse 32. So what happened during slavery? Let's get some more. Read.
Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters.
Who got sons and daughters? You got sons? You got sons? No sons or daughters? So this brother gonna know what the Bible's saying right here. Read.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Read it again.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
When was our sons and daughters given to another race of people? Slavery. 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 But what we're reading, the Holy Bible, let you know slavery is in the scriptures. But your Christian church is forbidden to speak this word. But us as the prophets of God, we're going to give you the truth, whether you hear or forbear. Keep reading.
Thy sons and daughters shall be given into another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long.
If you've seen any films on slavery, like 12 Years a Slave, Django Unchained, when they took our children, what could the woman do? She could only cry. She can only cry. God prophesied that your eyes will fail for longing for them all the day long. You understand? These are the curses that's upon us. Why? We're not keeping God's commandments. Keep reading.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
Guess what? We don't got no might. We don't got military might. We don't have political might. We think vote makes a change. But where does the real vote come from? And it's called what? What is it called? And it's called the who really gets the vote? The Electoral College chooses who goes into office. You standing in line trying to vote a way out, you're doing it in vain. That's the problem. We're seeking might that we don't have. No military might, nothing. Because why? We breaking God's commandments. Keep reading.
And there shall be no might in thine hand.
Verse 48 now.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy.
So therefore, since you broke God's commandments, you got to serve your enemies. Did the Bible just say that, though, or did I say that? So So read it again.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy,
God says you're going to serve your enemies. Read on.
which the Lord shall send against thee.
Who sent them against us?
The Lord shall send against thee.
Who sent our enemies against us?
The Lord shall send against thee.
So who put us in these conditions? The Lord did, because we broke his laws.
Right.
Understand, we did this to ourselves, but we got a chance to make a change. A righteous change. You with me? Won't you listen to this? Hold on, don't leave. Come on.
And hunger.
What?
And hunger.
And hunger. When you got to serve your enemies, who owns Shipley's? I think it's a few Hispanic brothers that own that. But guess who they had to get their LLC from? You with me? The white man. It says in hunger, you got to serve your enemies. Who owned this behind us? Super One? The white man. Who owned the banks that we got to go get our money out of? The white man. God says your enemies is going to do this, though. You're going to have to serve them for everything. Can you read it?
And hunger.
And hunger, read on.
And in thirst.
Who owns Coca-Cola that you're drinking right now? Wait a minute. Y'all see how easy it is now? Can you read it?
And in thirst.
In thirst, read on.
And in nakedness.
The clothes on your back. China too. Hey, don't you got China on your, more than likely you got China on the back of your tag. They was your enemies as well. You went into slavery for them. I'm gonna give you a quick note, little tip. Who you think built the Great Wall of China? You think Chinese folks got out there and start walking all the miles and miles away to fortify themselves? No, they used us. Because remember, God says, I'm going to scatter you. Oh, I forgot something. And we're going to get there, though. So God says what? In hunger and thirst and nakedness, your clothes on your back. Keep reading.
And in want of all things.
You know what in want of all things mean? If you want to leave America, what do you have to have? A passport. Nigga, you ain't going nowhere unless I say so.
Right.
If you want to drive, guess where you got to go? You got to get licensed to drive. If you want to have a baby, guess who has to know first? You got to have a birth. Nigga, I got to know you born. You see how I go? Why? Because we're slaves here until we keep God's commandments. And one of all things, meaning everything that you have to have, you have to go through your enemies. Appreciate that, bro. But watch this. Here's the best part. What is that sign? Here we go. I think I got it. Well, the yoke sign. I want to have that. It ain't here. Here you go. It's right here. Read that. Come on. I got you. And he, your enemy, can you read it?
Shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
What does yoke of iron mean upon your neck? It starts with a C. There you go. Say it again. A chain. So when the Lord said I will do what?
Put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
He said I will do what? I will put a chain on your neck. That's what the Lord just said. Can you read it?
Until he have destroyed thee.
Until you're destroyed from who you really are. Because you've been thinking you're a black man, Negro, colored this whole time. Until you learn that you are really an Israelite in the Bible. Because who did chains necks of the chains go on our neck? Who did people this happen to? It happened to us. Proving what? We are indeed the children of Israel.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.